Very good afternoon. I have come in between your lunch, and I'm sure there are tummies that are rumbling, but mine is a very quick session. And I'm here to talk to you on reimagining learning with AI as a catalyst. That's the theme. And I thought I should talk to you about something, a phrase that caught my eye. And the phrase is reimagining learning. When I see that phrase, I imagine it walking into a dark room with sunglasses on and groping in the dark, not knowing where to go. And suddenly it awakens and says, let's start all over again. But for all of you school leaders sitting here, you will understand you cannot start all over again. As learners in our schools, we understand that we have to keep up with the pace of the current that's happening. And we heard Mr. Ashish Vidyarthi just talking about it. What's the present? And from here, we take off to the next. That's reimagining. Adapt to the present, think about the future, and then work towards it. So no longer, for a long time, learning is confined to our classrooms. It's going much beyond that. It's an ecosystem by itself. So it spills beyond our classrooms, into our classrooms, beyond our classrooms, into playgrounds, into digital spaces, into industries, into any other place that you would like to do it. You take your child to a mall, the child learns much more than in a mathematics class. Especially if the child is not interested in learning arithmetic the way it has to, or at least what people expect it to learn. So learning spills over everything, and every time it is evolving. The other day, I was going through a project presented by a student from a Singapore school. The child has created, and a group of students have created a project where, using AI, where it is given, a tool is given to children or to older people, elderly people, when they have a garden at home and they don't remember to water them. So it beeps and it reminds them that they have to water the plants. It's done by school children, but what an innovative way of keeping elderly people who may forget the right thing to do it. Similarly, for elderly people who do not go to matches or watch a cricket or a football match because they can't go to the stadium, they've found solutions to it, and that's what AI does for it. But is that our way of life? And my answer is yes and no. AI is a tool with which we work, all right, but I think it's a part of our life as well. So when we are talking today that from standard 3, let's start robotics and our children or AI, my answer is children are born with it. So don't try and teach them after a curriculum with from standard 3. They have to start right from the beginning. It becomes just like how we adapted to watching television, took to mobiles, did everything. It's the same thing. They have to just adapt with it. So from classrooms, you can see that they have moved to ecosystems. If I were to say 62% of the people, and this is worked out statistics, 62% of the people learn they identify using technology and AI, they identify learning gaps. 65% of the people want to enhance, do things faster and do it better, and want to take away the crap work from their agenda. So they use it. 60% of the people are lifelong learners. So 40% of the people still have not adapted. That's where it is. So what do we use it for? So why I'm saying all this, I'll build on it later. AI extends human brilliance. That's where it stands. Today, what we heard from Mr. Vidyarthi also says that AI is a spark. But who fuels the spark? Humans. We. So you are the fire and the spark is AI. So remember, you are always one step higher than what the others are. So therefore, I think AI is our co-pilot that keep whispering, hey, you go as a teacher, go and inspire children, motivate people in the class, inspire them, and make sure that they are able to use all tools so that they can do it faster, better, maybe to ignite some ideas, maybe to get them going, maybe to push themselves, okay? Or even to think bigger. It's not just for children, but it's also for adults. And as teachers, we must use it. So learning to me has come to a point where it is not about major shifts. So when we speak about reimagining learning, it is not about a major reform that we need to do. We keep getting these reforms over and over again. They are in small parts, and we have to take it in small parts. Just yesterday, I was talking in a conference where we were talking about interventions that are coming in, or call it disruptions, I call it interventions, that come in from government policies, that come in from GRs of the local self-government, or it comes in from your own school systems. So instead of seeing that as a disruption, if we can start looking at how do I work to make that smaller shift happen, little by little, small steps at a time, I think it works better. So it is about small gears leading to the bigger engine that we have. Okay, how do I see learning happening? If there is a 5-minute student-led talk, a student-led innovative idea that is trying to get materialized, instead of having do-it-yourself kits. DIY gives you a great feeling that you have done it all. But if the child can think about it, spark the idea, ideate, get people together and create it by themselves, I think we have then created learning, or then learning has happened. So today we are in a world when we say that I created an AI-driven school. I would rather have it human-driven school. I'd rather have it as a human-first school rather than AI-driven school. So for me, AI is a catalyst, yes, but humanity is the compass. Without the compass, you won't know which direction you have to go. So therefore, we need that. So what I am coming to say is that you need your AI tools to make you more human, to ensure that there is emotional literacy and fluency in your schools. That's going to be the future-led school. The future-led school is not going to be an AI school. It is going to be a more human school which has AI as an integral part of their learning systems. That's how it is going to be. And therefore, I'd say whether it's resilience, whether it's curiosity, whether it's creativity, problem solving, all of that can be done only when a child is taught to be more human. And when I say taught, it's only that we have to be like that, like an icon, so that children can see us. People talk about generation gaps. There are no generation gaps. There's only a diversity. We think differently. They are wired differently. And therefore, it's important for us to look in terms of how do we make our children more human. So I think more of collaborative muscles need to come in together, and more of problem-solving skills need to come together. So the future-ready humans aren't the ones who know the most or who have the greatest knowledge and who can operate the best of the systems. They are the ones who actually are able to learn and relearn, stay grounded, stay completely focused, and also stay humble and kind. Because what the world needs today is people who are kind, who have the system and culture of inclusion, which must be driven. And you can have AI tools to drive that too. So when there's so much of technology, there are opportunities for children to be driven away from emotions. Don't take children away from that, because it gives you easier and faster solution as AI tools. It doesn't mean that the children have advanced. Children and humanity will advance only if we have more inclusion and more kindness around. And I say this in the wake of what we are seeing in our country and in the world outside. So while we advance on one side and we are seeing development on the other side, are we having things that make our children think a little more? Why am I doing what am I doing? So why of what is very, very important. How will come in later. So the how part of it is answered by your AI tools. But why is basic human thinking. And therefore, that disruption in thought process must come from the human mind. And we all must make sure that our children think. So when I talk on a topic like this, and it's not that I am not into AI or into technology. In fact, I run an edtech. I'm an edupreneur, and I run an edtech. I say this with pride, that while we are using that, the more what we have to do as school leaders in our classrooms is to teach our children how to think and question things around them. The more we question, we'll find answers. And the more answers that we get, we'll find tools that will take away anything mundane or anything that can be done faster, so that the human life or the human mind is there to think and question. So the future isn't about AI-ready schools. The future is about being human-ready. What is the kind of world that we want to see and what we want our children to see? And that's what it is. So let's think in terms of, can we think so that we have tools in AI that will show us more empathy, show us how to collaborate, how to win hearts, how to reach out to people, how to be kind, compassionate, and be resilient at the same time. So reimagining learning, to me, isn't just about adapting to newest tools. It's about having the courage to drive away old habits, build a newer world, a world that we would like to live in. Call it the Eden of bliss, but that's the world we want to see. And all people as well as tools, technology, have to come together. Let's not see both of them irrespective of each other. They are together in one planet, and we have to look at coexistence. On that note, I would say we have to start rethinking our whole learning process so that we make our schools more human. Thank you.